Hello and welcome to SEGA News Bits Extra. I'm your host George, and with me is Barry.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about, three big news pieces, but every episode we kind of want to do this thing where we talk about what happened in our weeks or anything important we want to talk about in this episode. So I'll let Barry start this one.
Listen, man, I got a lot to say. I don't know. I've just been, going through the motions. I got like a weird sore throat, and then I felt sick, and I don't know what's going on with my body. Maybe I'll be dead. So maybe this might be the last show for me.
Rare.
I haven't I've been so out of it that I just haven't played any games. When you get to that point where you're like, I just want things to happen in front of me. I don't want to control it. I don't want to think.
I know exactly how you feel. Personally, all I really did this week is I actually saw Infinity Wars finally. I know I'm probably a gajillion years late. I got the movie pass since they were doing unlimited movie passes. And I started looking at the rules and stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to use this that much. I kind of already regret buying it. But there's so many bad movies in the cinemas. I was looking at the app, and I'm like, so that stand-up comedian woman has a new movie called I Feel Pretty.
Oh, that looks bad.
Yeah, and then the other girl from Ghostbusters, and she played the British friend, I think, in one of the Wonder Woman movies.
That looks bad.
She has a movie out. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch these movies even for free. I'm like, so I have to drive, talk to people I don't like, and interact socially. Oh, dude, no, I'm good. Even for free, I'm like, ugh.
So what did you think of Infinity War? Because I don't know, you kind of know I'm not a huge MCU fan. I watch them, but they don't do much for me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge MCU fan. I like to read comics. I actually buy comics and I read them. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a DC fanboy, even though the movies are terrible. But this movie was actually really fun. It was really well done. I thought they were going to kind of ruin it, having so many plots and storylines intertwined and might be boring. Yeah. It actually was not. It was actually a pretty fun movie. I actually suggest people watch it if you don't like MCU. I think there's still a lot of comedy and value there for the average person. It was very much of a Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange movie kind of a thing. Because they focus on those. They don't even focus on Captain America or anything that much.
So I guess my question is is it one of those movies that is going to stand the test of time? Are people going to go, hey, let's throw on Infinity War and watch that again? Or is it more it ticks all the boxes for where we're going with the plot? You know what I mean?
It's kind of hard to say because I really like the way Thanos or however they pronounce it. I really like the way they fleshed him out as a character. I didn't think they were gonna do that. I thought it was gonna be a lot like Justice League, where this bad guy comes, we beat bad guy dead. But they actually give him a little backstory, and they kind of say oh, he has his own reasons for doing this stuff. And it was a good movie. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if it's going to stand the test of time because some of the most random movies, in my opinion, stand the test of time. I'm like, Mighty Ducks 2? Oh, yeah, that movie's fucking awesome, dude. It stands the test of time. Whatever. No, but this movie, I don't know. I give it a good 9 out of 10. It's my favorite Avengers movie. I didn't like Age of Ultron, and I thought the first one was just okay. Yeah. But this finally gives the franchise what it needed. A real bad guy with an actual fleshed out story, something that MCU hasn't had, and it kind of had an Empire ending, where it's not happy. So that really fixed it for me.
Cool.
And so let's just get right into the news. The first story, and you could explain this for the viewers, but Yakuza series producer says, in my personal opinion, Kiryu is a virgin.
I cough when I laugh now. So this has become one of our most popular articles in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually thanks to some of the guys on the Discord. They were sharing these interviews that were translated, and they were going, oh, check out this one. He says that, the producer says that, in his opinion, Kiryu is a virgin. And I was like, should I news that? And I did, and goddamn, it blew up. But, I mean, I think I made it very clear that it's his opinion. It's basically, he had this in mind as he worked on the games and worked on the story and worked on how the characters were portrayed. So it's kind of you know how some people write a book and they're like, you know, it's about like some kid in outer space, but in their minds they're like, it really was based on my past. You know, like it's me and me growing up in a small town. Like that's Star Wars, actually. It's kind of like that, I think. It's not like the J.K. Rowling where she's like, oh, Dumbledore's gay. You know, it's kind of like an in-between where this guy was like, well, I wrote scenarios or at least, you know, came up with these games with that in mind, and it really informed how the character is shown in the games. Now, I know on Twitter, I thought it was really interesting because there were a lot of people going, he's a he's a sex machine. And I'm like, is he? You know, like...
Yeah, is he? Like, how many... I don't know, like, so... Maybe it could be a mistranslation to me. I mean, what I've read, the little art, the quote. I'm not going to do the plot spoilers for Kiwami, so you guys can relax. But what I read, he talked about kind of how like he didn't really have a relationship after Yumi, and I always took that as in maybe he meant virgin as in a partner virgin, not like just randomly having sex virgin. Like there's a difference between having sex with like a random person that you're only going to talk to for 12 hours, right, and then having sex with somebody that you're going to be in a relationship for an X amount of years. And I thought that's what he kind of meant, that he's never had a relationship after the relationship in Yakuza 1 was introduced. But who knows? I mean, even if he is a virgin, does it even matter?
No, and I mean, I think, like, obviously, it's just this guy's opinion. I mean, granted, he has a lot of control over the series, but he says it's not official. And... you know, the way games work is you make the decisions for the characters. So there is a possibility that people who play these games, they do see him as a virgin, and even when they're presented with the opportunity to... because there... excuse me. There are, like, what, call girls, right?
Yeah. And
people go, oh, he had sex with call girls. And I'm like, well, yeah, but then again, I could claim that I've played the games, I've never slept with the call girls, and I always played baseball. And in my mind... Kazuma Kiro is a baseball and obsessed virgin. You know what I mean? Like, it's all in how you play the games. I did think it was interesting though, because the movie, it's not a super spoiler. It's an old movie. Well, a few years old. Moonlight is about this guy who grew up. He had bad, you know, like a bad upbringing. He's in the hood. He's actually closeted gay, but he like has this one experience with this guy and loves him, and then never sees him for years, and then becomes like this, you know, hardcore, super buff, drug-dealing gangster, but he's a virgin. Like, he's never been with anyone because, like, it's not so much that he was, like, saving himself. It was more just, like, no one ever met that standard in his mind of what he would be willing to, you know, like, the type of person he would be willing to give himself to.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie. Maybe I should watch it, but like...
it's good.
What do you think about this whole, like, SEGA verse? Like, a lot of Western developers, when they make characters, they kind of make them like, oh yeah, this guy fucks a bunch of girls. Check it out, dude. How cool is he? But then, like, SEGA Japanese games have this weird thing where it's like, they try to make them pure boys, you know what I mean? Like, Ryu from Shinmu. He never had sex with, what's her name, Naomi. He never had sex because we know him since he was 18, and I'm pretty sure he would have mentioned that he was banging girls.
Yeah, I don't think Rio's ever... I mean, I think Rio's a virgin. Then again, like you said, we haven't seen him, you know, until he's like 40 years old or something.
Yeah. And then we have Sonic, who obviously runs away from girls. Not that it's like a big deal.
I think, like, in that whole, like... children's game cartoon sort of thing, like Mickey Mouse has never had sex.
You think Mario? you think Mario's had sex?
I think he's been around. Yeah, I think he has.
I'm pretty sure Nintendo would like to like confirm that, because they've been confirming some weird things. I don't know if you've seen this, but like they confirmed that Waluigi is not circumcised, because, you know, fans need to know this info.
Oh wow.
And the next bit of news after that awkward news bit is a new Sakura game is out before March 31st, 2019. And the way we know about this is because SEGA released their financial statements, and they kind of listed this, that it's going to come out before that date.
Wow.
What do you think of the franchise returning? And do you think that they should stick with a new cast of characters for like a brand new generation, since the last game was in 2005? Or should they basically, I guess, get the old characters from the first 4 games back?
I think what they should do is a little bit of both. So I remember the Sakura Wars So Long My Love was a brand new cast, but the main character like shows up at one point and is a part of it. So I think maybe what they could do is a whole new cast, but have probably like 2 or 3 of the big characters from the early games come in. So you still have that reboot going on, but you also are satisfying the early fans, because I think they'd be foolish to bring them back and be like, yeah, Sakura Wars is back. Here's none of the characters you like, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I do agree that they have to have a mixture of stuff. They have to have some really good writing. It's going to be very interesting considering that it's been so long to see what they're going to do for a comeback.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it. There's no other info in this news, so we can't really talk about speculations on anything else.
Yeah.
So let's just move on to the last bit of news we have this week. Super Mario 64 Online adds Sonic and Knuckles. They're going to rename the mod Net 64 2.0. If you guys don't know what Super Mario 64 Online is, it's basically a mod by a fan that lets you play up to, I think, 24 players.
Wow.
Play like mini games in Mario 64, use the physics to like, you could even just collect the 125 stars or whatever there are in Mario 64. You could play as different characters, like, you know, just name any character in the franchise and it's probably playable, including Waluigi, and they all have their own like physics and their own moves. If you play as Knuckles, you obviously glide. Sonic is supposed to be really, really fast.
Yeah.
Really, it looked kind of hard to control, honestly, but it's pretty cool that fans are doing this. So, my question to you, I mean, what do you think about this, first of all?
It's weird because, I mean, I guess putting Sonic and Knuckles in it makes sense because a lot of Nintendo fans were introduced to the Sonic games thanks to the GameCube ports, but it is weird to see them adding Sonic and Knuckles of all characters, given you could put Zelda. Is Zelda in the game?
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't played it, but like I've seen some footage and they have like Kirby. They have a few things. Like Kirby obviously is like he could, you know, jump really slow. They talk about how it's easy for new people to come and play him. But no, I don't think there is any Link in this. I'm not sure. I have to look.
I mean, oh yeah, Link. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool and all. It's kind of a weird option, but then again, maybe it's kind of smart because it makes me want to check it out, and I'm not a huge, you know, Mario fan.
And my other question to you was, how do you feel about Nintendo community sort of embracing Sonic characters? Like, to me, it feels like a lot of the fan base of Sonic are actually Nintendo fans. They just like Sonic.
Yeah. I'm fine with it. Of course, the more fans, the better. I think just me personally, I get annoyed. The only thing that annoys me is when the GameCube ports are always like put above the Dreamcast ones, to the point where people will be like, "What's your favorite Sonic game?" "Oh, probably DX, Battle, you know, Mania." Like they overwrote the Dreamcast games and have become the standard like ones that people bring up. I think that's weird because I think they're kind of lesser ports. That's my only thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing. It's like these people first played Sonic during the GameCube era, so these people have like a nostalgia feeling and they kind of want to... I think a lot of them, if you ask them, should Nintendo just take over the franchise? They probably say yes. I mean, I don't even blame them at this point, but like,
yeah,
I get it. And you know, I like that there is a fan base for Sonic. Like, it shows you how much of an iconic character he is, that like he could have these strings of bad games and like still pull in fans, right? At least enough to them to be modded into a Mario game.
Yeah, I mean, it just says so much about the power of the franchise. It can take over and infect the competition. You don't see Mario going into Sonic games. That's the big thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some mods out there where fans have done it, but yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is this episode of the Sega News Bits Extra. We'll catch you guys next week on more Sega News Bits Extra news. And hopefully we have another video for you this week on Sega News Bits on the regular YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.